It's the Slam Dunk.
Sonny Bill Williams has called it, and I think he's right. And I think it's finally time New Zealand Rugby dropped its forever stance of refusing to pick New Zealand rugby players who play overseas. I think SPW's got it right. For years, the lure of the All Black jersey was considered enough to keep people here. And those who went walked away from the chance to play for the All Blacks, right? So far, it's worked. But in the last couple of years, with the All Blacks faltering and losing more games in 2 years than we've lost in the previous 20 years, people have started to search for not only what the problem is, but what might be a possible solution, you see. And the All Blacks are taught no loss is acceptable and we don't lose. But we've started to quite often, have you noticed? It's becoming a habit that no one really likes. So when Razor took over, there was much hope that things would be different. But he too has struggled, snuck past England somehow. Lost to Argentina, demolished Argentina, lost to South Africa twice. In the last 20 minutes of both those games, we failed to score 1 point. Right? And that's unheard of. I mean, you're unlikely to win test matches by being scoreless in the last 20 minutes. This is the problem. And so often the All Blacks crush teams in the final 20 minutes through unrelenting pressure and speed and a bench that blows away a team that doesn't have our depth in rugby. Except that's no longer the case. And South Africa is setting the standard and are clearly the world's best team. Clearly the world's best team. We're no longer the best. We're no longer the fastest, the fittest, or the best at closing out games with a superior team and tactics and execution. We just aren't. And one of the first things Razor did when he got to the All Black coaching job was to fly to Japan to catch up with Richie Mo'unga, former AB First Five. It's no secret Razor wants to pick players who play overseas, but the Rugby Union so far refused to grant him that wish. The pressure's on, and it's hurting us. Look, South Africa have a huge number of their guys who play in England. They then picked them for their country. And for decades, South Africa had our policy. They didn't pick players elsewhere. But they saw the folly in it in the game where players travel overseas to earn big money while they're in their prime. And they relaxed the rules, and they've been the best side in the world since. The facts don't lie. But imagine if we could select from overseas Richie Mo'unga, Shannon Frizzell, first choice players, Charles Piatel, fullback, superstar. Would he have made it? But would that decimate our rugby, our super rugby sides? And who would be left? I mean, possibly no one. What sort of competition is it now anyway? Is it truly gripping and amazing and working for us? And look what's happened to the NPC. A once great competition has been decimated, right? By the Rugby Union. No one now cares. No one turns up. The Rugby Union here is at a crossroads, I reckon. Rugby's got to innovate and fight for their position in society, I reckon. For too long it was handed to them in a country mad on rugby. But the face of New Zealand's changed. Our population's different. Rugby must compete with sports that are becoming more popular thanks to the changing face of New Zealand and in a world that's been turned upside down by technology. So they've got to fight for their position in society. And I'm not even sure rugby knows how to. Maybe rugby got complacent and thought the masses would keep flocking. Maybe they thought, well, rugby could serve up some excitement one day, but they've got to fight for this stuff. You pay through the nose for the game, so what sort of product is it? Right now, it's battling. Is there someone in charge that knows what to do? I'm not sure they do. Rugby's at a crossroads. Who will take it by the scruff of the neck and start making some bold changes, starting with maybe picking the All Blacks from overseas teams? Good morning.